Welcome back everyone once again for another SnowRunner truck review. Today we're going to take a look at a standalone mid-season DLC truck that gets added to one of the stronger truck families in the game currently. So before we start, I ask that you please help support the channel by liking the video and subscribing to the channel as well. Alright, let's get started, shall we? Based off the Kamaz 65808, the Azov 67096 Atom is the newest standalone DLC to hit SnowRunner prior to the release of Season 13. It's slow, efficient, and capable, yet I do believe there are some things that folks should consider, which are the positives and negatives as well before purchasing it. So let's jump into the downsides before we talk about its good qualities. The first thing on our list, and also the worst thing about the Atom, it's not as stable as typical Azovs tend to be. I'm pretty good at driving trucks that aren't stable, and while it's not such a huge deal to me, I must say its balance could be conditional. You might be lured into using its custom tires or the OHS2s, but the JAT single wide mud tires could be an option to mitigate its balance issues, so keep that one in mind. Just like the typical cab over fashion, there is going to be some front overhang issues. While though its clearances are exceptional, as we will learn, the truck does feel rather front heavy from the files and also from other information I've gathered. It's not a deal breaker, however, but I do feel this one should be noted, so keep an eye out for this one. In truth, I don't really mind the slow and steady nature of the game, yet some folks might not be really happy about the speed of the newest addition to the game. If you're one of those types that like trailblazing down paths, this one might not be your thing. However, even though it lacks speed, it does excel in other areas to keep it on the road longer. Being a large frame truck that could potentially in the future maybe hold 4 slots of cargo, who knows, we kinda saw this one coming, right? Even though the truck turning radius is rather wide and the vehicle itself is rather large, I think it's manageable. You may have to do some adjusting on those tight switchbacks and such, but a very small nuisance in my humble opinion. Our fifth and final downside here could change if something is patched in later, and that is a possibility. But basically there could be a few combinations that would make sense, but some I don't feel should be added into the game because I believe in some sort of balancing, I guess. However, there are a few I could name, but I would say one would be a long log attachment with a crane. The other would probably be a medium log cradle with a crane as well. Perhaps a small crane with its custom bed maybe, but honestly, let's not get too far here because I do believe in its current state it is a very, very strong vehicle. Let's move on here to see how this truck is appealing. The Atom shares engine upgrades with notable vanilla trucks, so you are going to have to find those engines to unlock the true potential of this truck. But hey, 235,000 torque with a switchable all-wheel drive and always-on diff lock is pretty nice. I'm not sure why the all-wheel drive is switchable considering the advanced special gearbox has no fuel penalty. Yet switching off all-wheel drive is useful in other aspects of gaming, especially for torque transfer. On inspection, the clearance isn't great until you look at its collision mesh, which is actually quite amazing to be honest. Azovs are known for having good collision models, but I believe this one here takes the cake. This one is going to help in those deep areas because you're not going to drag your frame while your tires actually grip into the surface. However, be advised, you will still get stuck in places just like the rest of them. In short, having 50-inch custom tires that perform very similar to the OHS2 with the coalition of prior upsides, yes, the Atom is going to grind through most places at slow paces. Our number 4 upside is probably the most shocking upside on this list currently. I've run a lot of stress tests with other vehicles, and I have spent a lot of time in efficient ones like the Azov 64131, the Thatcher T813, and others. I spend a lot of time looking at the fuel gauge and analyzing how much fuel burn I'm getting at a specific moment, and I have to say, this truck is probably the most efficient truck I've seen that has all-wheel drive engaged under load. I've crossed multiple maps and still have had a quarter of a tank left. The sheer uptime and efficiency under load just blows me away. Even though folks might think they could use a little bit more add-on combinations, I actually felt it was in a good place aside from a few things we mentioned earlier. I don't think that every truck that comes out to the game should have every add-on combination. There has to be some type of line drawn in the sand at some point to make things look unique or feel unique and not totally power creep the OG trucks. Lastly, we all love a good support vehicle with large fuel add-ons and possible repair parts because having a proper support vehicle in the game of SnowRunner is crucial. Well, I have good news. The Atom has a special maintenance frame that has extended amounts of fuel and repair. The amount of fuel is actually more than a hitched fuel trailer. I also need to mention that it can straight up use the extended fuel add-on as well. Couple this with the ability to hitch another trailer behind you, and this makes you an amazing support vehicle. So in conclusion, the Atom sets itself apart from its brothers by having questionable stability, but mostly its other qualities line up with the esteemed Azov family. As I predicted, it essentially is a larger version of the 64131, however it does have better fuel efficiency, which I didn't know that was possible, and also it is lighter than the 64131 as well. Kinda weird there, not sure how that happened, but anyways, its deep mud performance is actually similar to the 73210 in some ways, and it also has similar add-on capabilities but not as many. But the question arises, is it worth the money? If you are a collector of trucks and you just love the Azovs in general, then I think it will serve you well if you consider its flaws and play around them. However, if you want my honest and unfiltered thoughts as a true Azov enjoyer, after purchasing it, testing it, and trying it out, I don't think I would be missing out on much if I did not purchase it. The Azov 64131, the 5319, and the 73210 are very unique apart from each other, yet they offer similar things the Azov Atom currently does. The 67096 is indeed crazy strong right now, and it's very, very efficient. But if I were to choose an Azov to place my complete trust in when sending it into some crazy, sketchy situations, I doubt the Atom would be at the top of this list. Don't get me wrong, I'll definitely continue to play it and enjoy it. I believe its weaknesses right now kinda need to be set in place, as they are. If not, every Azov becomes irrelevant with this paid edition. So with that being said, I'm okay with its current weaknesses, because without them, this truck would power creep the rest of the beloved Azovs. I really hope this review gave you a fresh, new perspective of the Azov 67096 Atom. Please smash that like button. Definitely share this video with someone who is currently struggling with the game, and subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you don't miss any future content. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless and stay upright.